Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, I'm going to be filming just a super casual Q&A. I have received a ton of questions on my life as a nanny video. It is actually my most viewed video, which I find to be really funny. I totally was not expecting it to be as popular as it is, but I've actually received a ton of questions and I have answered some of them. I just responded to the comments, but just for the sake of the video, just to make it a little bit longer, I'm going to go ahead and answer those again for anybody who wants to know. So let's just go ahead and get started. If I'm looking down, it's because I have my computer down here, which has the questions. So the first question is from Kelly Girl Knits, and she says, as a nanny, it looks like you are being a housekeeper as well. What's up with that? Shouldn't you just be responsible for the care of the children? So along with the care of the children, I also did everything that had to do with them. So I washed their clothes that I used on them during the week. I did any dishes that the kids used. So when I made them lunch, I put it on a kid's plate. Obviously I cleaned it up. Same goes for bottles for the baby or anything like that. Like that's just, that's pretty normal. If you're gonna be there all day from 8 to 5, then you kind of just keep up with what you use throughout the day. Another question is from Tanisha Hogan, and she says, are you a live-in or live-out nanny? How many hours do you work a day? I'm currently an au pair in Australia and soon will be an au pair in America. So her first question was, are you a live-in or live-out? I was a live-out nanny. How many hours did you work a day, or do you work a day? So I worked 45 hours. When I first started the job, I worked 7:30 to 5, so I worked about 9.5 hours a day. So I worked almost 50 hours a week. And then my hours changed to 8 to 5, so I worked 40 hours a week. 45. No. Yeah, 45 hours a week. So it kind of depended, every once in a while they would need me to come in a little bit early or stay a little bit late. So, but for the most part, I worked anywhere between 45 and 50 hours. And then next I have a couple of questions from Sam. I don't know if it's Sam Fee Noodle or Sam Fi Noodles. Sorry if I am saying that incorrectly. So I'm just gonna go, she's got about 7 questions, so I'm gonna just kind of go one by one. So she said, hello, I have a couple questions for you. I just graduated from school and I have always wanted to be a nanny. Question 1, did you do any schooling before you started nannying? Are there courses or classes you can take to be an awesome nanny? Is nannying even a word? Yes, nannying is a word. I use the word nannying all the time. I graduated from high school a long time ago. Just kidding, really not that long. I'm 24, so I graduated high school back in 2011, so it's been almost 6 years since I graduated high school. So right after high school, I did go into college, but I didn't take specific classes for nannying. This will kind of tie into another question that she has a little bit later on, but I started college and I just started doing my basic courses. So there were no classes that I took specifically for nannying or child development or anything like that. Yes, there are classes that you can take in college, not specifically for nannying, obviously, because nannying isn't necessarily, not that it's not a profession, but it's not necessarily something you would need to go to school for. So if nannying is something, or taking care of children in general is something that you are interested in doing for the long run, for forever, then I would definitely recommend taking some courses, maybe in child development. Even not just nannying, but if you plan on going into teaching or even wanting to work in like a daycare kind of setting, you can take child development courses. I don't know exactly what those would be, but that's definitely something you can look into if that's something you want to do. But yeah, you can definitely look into some child development courses. There are tons within all of the colleges. Question number 2, how did you find the family you nanny for? How do you find a family that needs a full-time nanny? So the way that I found my family is kind of odd. So my mom was a nanny, and she had already been working for this family for a couple months, and I was supposed to be moving out of the state. So I had already quit my job that I'd had, and we ended up not moving, so I was in a position where I needed a job. So the family that my mom was working for had a babysitter once or twice, and so the family that I ended up working for the girl who babysat for my mom's family's child had put them down as a reference. And so my boss called my mom's boss and, was asking for a recommendation, asking if she was good, blah, 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 blah. And my mom's boss was like, no, she was horrible. She was never on time. Anyways, and she was like, my nanny actually has a daughter who is needing a job and has experience. You should call her. So that's kind of how we met up. It was basically like a weird line of recommendation kind of thing. To find a family that needs a full-time nanny, a lot of it can be word to mouth kind of thing. But there's also a lot of websites that you can go on. There's care.com, Sitter City. Those are like the two that I know. And there are also nannying agencies. I don't know exactly where everybody is from, but you can Google nanny agencies and you can get hired through an agency, or you can go through, again, websites like care.com or City City and stuff like that. And that way, the families personalize what they want and everything like that. So that's a really good way. That's how I actually found a couple of my other nanny jobs that I did on the side. So I would definitely check out those websites. So I did answer this, but she has another question that goes along with it. She asked, how many hours do you usually work each week? And do you get weekends off and holidays? So again, like I said, I was working 45 to 50 hours a week, and I did get weekends off and holidays. So it kind of just depended on what holidays my bosses had off with their company. But I got off all major holidays like Christmas, Thanksgiving, New Year's. There's a couple of other ones in there that I can't really necessarily think of, but I did get holidays off. And that's always going to depend on the family that you work for and what they do and the holidays that they get off. Because, for example, if, the family that I work for went on vacation for Christmas, then I obviously got that time off. So that is going to be completely based on the family you work for and what you work out with them. That's just speaking from my experience. That is what happened. Do you consider nannying to be a lifetime career, or is it just a small job you will have for a few years? I am no longer a nanny for this family. I worked for them for 3 years, and again, I think I said this a little bit ago, I am 24, so I was just to the point where I needed something more, not necessarily, I don't want to say stable, but I needed something that gave me, benefits, insurance, 401k, all of the adult things that you need in a job. So I no longer work for them. I stopped working for them about 2 months ago, and I now have a big girl job. Nannying was not something I ever wanted to do like for life. The job just kind of fell in my lap, and I've always loved children, so babysitting and nannying was always fun for me, but it wasn't something that I necessarily wanted to do for the rest of my life. So it can be a lifetime career if that's what you wanted, that's what you want to do for the rest of your life, but that wasn't what I wanted to do for the rest of my life. How old were you when you started nannying? I'm currently 18. Do you think I could get hired at my age? So when I started working for this family, I was 21, and again, like I said, I did other nanny jobs before that. So I did nanny jobs I think I started around 19 or so. So yes, I fully believe that you could get hired at your age. I know a ton of nannies that are, 18 and up. So I definitely don't think that's a problem. It's really just how you sell yourself, really. Just be professional. It's not necessarily a professional job, but regardless, you still want to be professional because it is a job regardless. So I fully believe that you could get hired. What is some advice you have in regards to being a nanny? What are your favorite parts of the job? Advice. Patience. Patience is definitely something you need when taking care of children. A lot of people see nannying as a really easy job, but it's not at all. Taking care of kids is hard. Taking care of someone else's kids is even harder. You have to learn your boundaries. You need to be on the same page as far as disciplining a child. Luckily, because she was a baby, we didn't have to deal with that for quite some time. But as she got older and went into being a toddler, obviously we had to be on the same page as far as disciplining her, what was okay, what wasn't, stuff like that. So definitely just be very open with the family and get those kinds of things set out on the table. So yeah, I would definitely just say being patient, be very open and honest. What are your favorite parts of the job? My favorite parts of the job was the family that I worked for. I seriously worked for such an amazing family. Like, I got so lucky. Like, I had been a nanny and babysat for other families a ton before. And the kids were awful. The parents were pretty terrible too. So I just got really, really lucky with family I worked for. They loved me like I was a part of their family, and, you know, I loved them so much and still do. I do still see them and talk to them all the time. And just getting to watch them grow up was just so fun. And when I left that job, it was extremely difficult. I'm very happy with where I am at my new job now, but it was very difficult, and I do miss them all of the time. And then her last question was, do you ever watch the children when the parents are around? Do you ever tag along with them when they go to events and help out, or do you stay and help out with birthday parties and things? So yes, there were very many times that I was at the house when they were. So anytime that the parents were sick, I still came and took care of the kids while they slept and stuff like that. Like, they never called me on the weekends to take care of them, like if they were sick or something. But during the week, you know, if I was supposed to be there anyways, just, you know, they just had me come just so that they can rest and get better and stuff like that. So, and then also whenever my boss had the second baby, I worked the whole time she was on her maternity leave. So birthday parties, no. They didn't have me really help out with any birthday parties. I attended them as a guest. I didn't go to a birthday party to take care of, like, the kids kind of a thing. Like, I was just a guest. There were a couple times that, there was only once or twice in the entire 3 years that I did this, but they would have, like, a party with all their friends, and they would ask me to come and help take care of, like, all of the kids, and then, like, all of the parents would pitch in and pay me kind of a thing. But aside from that, no. So I think that is all of the questions. This actually turned out to be a little bit of a lengthy video, so I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope this helped you guys out for any of you that are interested in nannying. It is a very hard job, but it is also very rewarding, and it can be a ton of fun. I'm sure, as you can see in, like, my previous vlogs, I had a lot of fun with the girls. I took them out and did activities with them all the time, and that is actually one thing I can say into the advice is, if you're allowed to, this is obviously something that you have to determine with the parents, but if you're allowed to leave with the kids, like, go do activities, like, find fun things, or even, like, crafts, because sitting in a house all day with kids can get very, very boring and very exhausting, because the kids get cranky and it's just not fun. So find activities, Google activities, whatever, go to the park. We went to, like, a bounce house indoor park thing all the time. I took them to, like, the playground all the time. So just find a lot of fun things to do, otherwise it can get old really quick. So anyways, like I said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next time. Bye!